Alright, for those of you who are visual people and need a little extra help when I'm not around, I decided to create this screencast using Screencast-O-Matic. So, I'm going to assume already that you've got your account created. Specifically, you've gone and created an EDU account for Prezi. When you log in, it'll come up with a list of your Prezis. Obviously, I have a number that I can draw upon, but really what I want this to be is a chance to see what Prezi's all about, the basics. So you go ahead and click New Prezi, and you title it. So you could do something very simple for the title. You don't have to actually put a description, but you will need some kind of title. Alright, so click New Prezi and away we go. So it automatically drops you off in the Prezi area, and the first thing you're going to be brought to is a template. Now this is something that's relatively new. It is something that I recommend you all play with at some point because it gives some templates that you can use. However, for the purposes I've used things for, I don't find these very helpful, so I usually just click with the blank one and start editing. And it'll bring you up with a very basic double-click to add text, and what that's telling you is the basics of how to get around. So to input text, you just double-click and you start typing here. Of course that didn't work. There we go. Type here. And you can see you've got three options. You got title, title 2, and the body of the text. Above these you have your standard alignments, left, center, right, and justified. You can add bullet points if you like. You can indent, and you can change the color of the text itself. So while the subtitle 2 here is set at red, you can actually go here and change it to blue. The basic functions here that you need to know about is that typing and then how to move things around. So you click on an item and it brings up the Prezi wheel. You've got delete, so if you want to delete something. You have the little pencil here which allows you to edit. And then you've got the plus and minus which allows you to make things bigger or smaller. The hand is where you want to click to move things around. And then the wheel itself, there are two parts to the wheel. There's this outer part and the inner part. The outer part allows you to rotate. The inner part is another way to do the make things big or small. There are a few other things you can do, but for right now, don't want you to get too bogged down. The best thing to do is just to play around. So you've gotten the basics there. Other things on the screen right now that you should know about. Up here, every few minutes it will save automatically, but you can Control S to save, or you can click the button to save it for yourself. Undo, redo. There's a print option here, but the print, it's not a great PDF. You can invite and actually edit these with other people. For right now, once again, that's something that you may not want to do, but you may want to encourage students who are using Prezi for presentations or whatnot to enable that function so that students can work on it from different machines. Actually, they don't even have to be in the same building to do it because it's all web-based. And then, of course, help and exit. And when you exit, it does save. So you don't have to go through the extra step of saving to exit, but you do want to make sure you are saving. Down here is the show button, and this will allow you to kind of see what it will look like when it's all said and done. You've got the home button, which basically sets it back to where it started, kind of centers it. Zoom in and zoom out. You can also zoom in and zoom out using the mouse wheel if you have a wheel on your mouse. Over here on the left is the storyboard area. The top one shows you what the home spot is going to be. These other ones show you the path. So if you were going to be creating a presentation, an alternative to PowerPoint, and you want to kind of maintain that linear slideshow-like progression. In Prezi, it's called Path, creating your pathway. So over here allows you to preview the storyboard. And this is a relatively new feature. It's extremely nice because as you zoom in and zoom out on things, you don't really know how it's going to look when you zoom in and zoom out. And this gives you a nice way of looking at it before you go down to show and present it. Up here in the left-hand corner is the Prezi wheel itself. Add is a relatively new feature. It allows you to add some pre-existing things, some images. Really, it's just another quick way of doing some things that they already have in there. First thing you should really know about is colors and fonts. Basically, it's themes that you can draw upon here. You can use pre-existing ones, or you can use the theme wizard to create your own background using a logo if you want to. Changing the font style for Title 1 and Title 2, as well as the color, the body of the texts. You can change the circle color, the brackets. You can see how all these are changing. Arrows. And then there is like a highlighter option, so that's what that marker is for. Once you've done that, the other things you need to know about insert. So you already know how to insert text, but there are other things you can insert. You can insert an image. Easiest thing to do is have it on your file, or you may draw from, you can use a URL and input it right there, and it'll paste it right in there. YouTube, I know there's concern about using YouTube videos, but sometimes it is a quick way. You can also download the video itself using Real Player, and then insert it as a file. Prezi uses Shockwave Flash, which has some advantages and disadvantages. The major disadvantage is it does not play on iPads. So you can show Prezis on iPads, but if you have a Flash file, it's not going to play. You can add any kind of file here, including PDFs, Word documents. Over here is some images that you can draw upon, depending on what you want to do. Some of my students have used these before, including the timeline and perspectives. So these are some nice little things, pre-mades, that you can draw upon. And then the big one that you're going to want to be familiar with is right here, PPT, which allows you to insert a PowerPoint presentation. Now, I will admit this is extremely new to me, and I've played around with it a little bit, and I have to say I am not thrilled by it. And the major reason is it does a great job. It makes it super simple to import an image. Prior to this, the way you go about doing it is saving the PPT as a PDF, and it'd be locked in. You couldn't move any of the images or the parts. Now what you can do is you can bring it over, but all the text is there. It's been converted, but it's a jumble. So you do have to spend some time unjumbling these things. But this may be perhaps the easiest way of going about importing PowerPoint into your Prezi. There is an option up here where you can add shapes, something to play with in the future. The next important thing is frames. This allows you to quickly like lump things together, and you can see this bracket frame is used all over the place. The one I most often use is this one that's called hidden. It allows you to bracket something, but it doesn't show it. So if you just want to zoom in on a word, you don't want any kind of frame around it at all, hidden is the way to go. You've got this other one which actually creates a little backdrop, which is nice, and if you want to do something circular, same thing. Last thing you really need to know is the path. I mentioned before, this is the way to create a linear progression, kind of a slideshow. So 1 is the first slide, 2 is the second. You just click on an image or text, and it becomes your path. So when you've got your path, you can go down to show, and it'll start you at home. You just click play, dot, 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 back and forth. There you go. You can do this manually. There is a way to do an autoplay function. I don't recommend playing with that at this time. Anyway, that is the quick and dirty introduction to Prezi. There are a ton of great tutorials. I will make my personal library available for you all to look at. You can see and actually copy and play with what I've already done. As you can see, I have something like 50 Prezis already. Some of them are very similar, but anywho, that is the basic. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I hope this was helpful.